because your laws were set millennia ago and you were going to stick by those laws. Is that a fair assessment?
By progression, if progress means the nakedness of women in the public sphere, we absolutely reject that notion. If by progress you mean progress scientifically, economically, culturally, Islam has been the standard which the world subscribes to. Islam has if you read the history of Islam and Muslims, they are actually the pioneers in the fields of science, astronomy, mathematics. So if by progress you mean women and them uncovering themselves, we do not allow that. If by progress you mean scientific and economic and social development, that's what we ascribe to.
Final point on this. I do not go naked in public. I wear respectful clothes. I don't show flesh unnecessarily. I don't think that is disrespectful. I think that it feels to me that women are being hidden away, and that's the impression that you get. But I take your point.
Are the nuns hidden away?
Increasingly they're not. Nuns have moved on and they don't, a lot of them now don't wear habits, and yeah, they progress too. That's, I guess that's
so
the point.
Throwing away the veil, that means it's progress.
Well, no, I mean, maybe it is.
Again, if by throwing away the veil you mean it's progress, then we're not progressing ever. If by progress you mean scientific, social, economic development, we have progressed. We're actually the pioneers in those fields.
I think, again, I don't want to labour this point, but I think throwing away the veil, it's not about progression, it's about choice. It's about having the choice to do something, and that does seem to be denied people here.
Does the Western society give people the choice to walk around naked? Without any clothes?
They give people personal choice to dress how they wish.
No, in public.
Well, they give them the choice. They give them personal choice.
Do they give women and men the choice to walk around in public absolutely naked?
Yeah, you wouldn't walk around absolutely naked. That would be indecent.
Do they have the choice to do it legally, without being arrested?
In their own home, in public?
No, in public.
In public, no, they wouldn't. That would be indecent. But they do have the choice to wear what they want.
And that is what we're saying. In their private homes, they can wear whatever they want. But in public, they have to have modesty.
With a burqa?
With a veil, yes.
With a veil. Okay, so look, we'll move on. We'll talk about the sanctions and we're here. A huge part of why we're here is to look at the humanitarian situation in Afghanistan right now. The people who we've spoken to, they say that things are very bad in terms of money, employment, which you've mentioned. We understand from UNICEF, from other NGOs that we've been in touch with, that there is extreme poverty especially in some of the rural areas. And I mean, obviously, as a government, you don't want to see that happen to your people.
Yes, that is true. The sanctions that are imposed, the man-made humanitarian crisis unfolding in Afghanistan is man-made. It is by the sanctions. It is by the international community, the champions of human rights, not allowing the right of life of Afghans, not giving them the fundamental right of life. They're given a choice: either change your society to ours, or we will starve you to death.
But most countries that aren't aid dependent make their own money. So if you were going to give me money, you might say to me, Emer, you have to wear a veil because here's my money, and I'm giving it to you. But there are conditions.
And I made this point earlier. We're not looking for charity. We're not looking for donations. We are looking for the world to accept us as equals, as equal human beings, to give us our right and access to international markets and international banking system, and to allow other countries that do wish to invest in Afghanistan to work for its development economically, socially, to have that right to do so. What the world has unjustly done is stop people from contributing and helping Afghanistan and investing in the vast resources that we do have. That is the problem. We are a very proud nation. We do not want anyone's charity.
Can you understand, though, that maybe some donors are concerned about human rights in this country that we've discussed, and that they're using this leverage to try and ensure that human rights are enshrined? Can you understand that point of view?
Again, this coming back to my point, they're threatening people with starvation and death and taking away their right of life and existence to be distinct and different from you with such what they like to call leverage. They kill 1 million children, they call it leverage. It's not leverage. You're killing children, you're killing women, you're killing men, you're killing elderly.
But are they threatening people, or are they just choosing to withhold, or, you know?
It's not about donations. We do not seek donations. We do not want their donations. We're not a charity, people who live off charity. We're asking for access to be accepted as human beings, to have the chance to coexist. That's what we're asking for. And they've imposed sanctions on individuals and on the country, where other countries are unable to trade with us. They're unable to invest in Afghanistan, because then they will face the same thing, and millions of their children will die.
So how concerned are you at the current situation in terms of poverty and malnutrition and lack of employment? And it's just a cycle that keeps repeating, and ultimately, you know, the people that we've spoken to here all welcome the peace. You know, everyone says it's really peaceful now, but it seems that the price of peace is extreme poverty and malnutrition. How concerned are you about that?
As a government of Afghanistan, as a representative of the people of Afghanistan, of course we are very concerned. There's no doubt about our concerns. And that's why we have been engaging with the world to make them understand that killing children is not going to achieve what they're trying to achieve. Imposing sanctions is not going to achieve those aims. And we, from our part, are doing everything possible. We have an economic plan in place. We have got rid of corruption, the endemic corruption that existed. Our revenues have actually increased, despite the fact that the trade and economic activity has decreased. And we are providing people with services to the best of our abilities, and we'll continue to push and exert efforts in improving the situation.
And just very finally, you mentioned to me earlier that the West had turned its back on Afghanistan, but it was now beginning to turn its front to Afghanistan again. Do you think that there is a potential for working with some of these countries which maybe in the past there have been issues with? Do you think there is hope there?
Yes, I absolutely see hope. We live in a global village, and you cannot ignore any neighbor or any individual in that village. We are closely knit, the international community, and we see rays of hope, and we see those translate into actions, not only by us, but also by the international community. We feel that we are coming closer together, that we are coming to the stage where we accept each other for who we are. So I think there is a lot of room for us and the West to work together.
So if I were to come here, and Mark and I were to come here in 5 years, 10 years' time, what sort of Afghanistan do you think we'll find?
Well, our hope is that you will find an Afghanistan that has achieved peace now, to achieve economic elevation, for big projects to have started, for mineral extraction to have started, for investment to have come in, and Afghanistan to have achieved its ultimate goal. Well, the ultimate goal is being the crossroads of Asia and bringing prosperity to our people, reviving the Silk Road. That is our ultimate goal, but in 5 years' time, we're hopeful that some of the projects for us to achieve that aim will be achieved as well.
And how will it be for women?
Women will hopefully, some of the cultural practices that are frowned upon not only by us but also by the West, that they will be given all the Islamic rights in 5 years.
Thank you. Thank you very much.